The Channel Mom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Brought to you by Pediatric Dental Group of Colorado, creating positive and rewarding dental visits for kids of all ages since 1977.
Alrighty. Did you know that lack of activity is not only to be bad for your child's body, but his brain too? But don't worry, there are some ways to fix the couch potato problem, and our guest is here to tell you about it today. You know, we like to feature businesses owned by mommies on this show, and there is a mom behind this business we're about to tell you about, but we've got the dad today because mom just had a baby. We want to welcome Jason Paulo,
Yes,
co-founder and owner of Monkey Business, to the Channel Mom Show today. And you're going to tell us why it's important for kids to get away from screens and get active, not just for their bodies, but also for their brains. So tell me about that.
Well, I think in modern society, kids are so attracted to electronics, video games, and the iPad is one of the greatest inventions ever. And I think there's a lot of benefits for children. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you remember growing up, you played, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that's really lacking in society today is unstructured playtime for kids. And what I find is that kids that are constantly needing attention, they're losing their imagination. And so when you
That's right. Kids do. I'm going to have you speak right into the front of this mic.
Okay.
They do, and even my own kids. And my kid, we live in the mountains, we live in the foothills, and so my kids are outside a lot, and they are physically active. But they also expect to be entertained, like what you got for me now, and what's on TV now, and what movie are we going to now, and what video can I have now? And it's, oh my goodness, what are we doing to their brains by serving them all the time and not letting them find their own things to do physically and mentally?
Well, and it's so easy. It's so easy for them to be entertained and not have to entertain themselves. And I think what they lose is when you talk about exercise and activity affecting the mind, is they lose that ability to create, to be imaginative, to just have unstructured playtime.
Yeah.
To literally be kids. I mean, I can remember being a kid and a stick was a sword, and you sword fought, and you created games, and you played for hours and hours and hours, and it all of it was in your mind.
Yeah.
There were no toys, there were no electronics, and I feel that our children these days are missing that vital aspect of being a kid. And so when you talk about minds and exercise, I think the key to kids now these days is, instead of finding something for them to do, there are plenty of things for them to do. There's all day long, there are things they can sit in front of. As parents, I think we have to make sure that they're getting good, wholesome, unstructured playtime, where they have to think, they have to interact with other kids, and they're not just the couch potato syndrome.
Yeah. Now, there is research. Is this not right, Jason? There is research that says that if you allow your kids just to sit on the couch and be entertained by a screen, or sit in a chair and be entertained by the laptop, or stand somewhere and text, but they're not really getting physical activity, and they're not really using their brains as a part of that physical activity, that's having a detrimental effect literally on how they can do things like perform in school. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It has the effect on learning. I think, everybody's familiar with ADD.
Yeah.
I think it's perpetuated by constant inundation of video, text, not really having to create yourself.
Right.
And I see this. So I brought my 8-year-old
Your son
today.
Yes, we should say hello to Nate. Nate's in the house today. Hello, Nate.
Hi, Nate. We got to run to a baseball game after this, so he wanted to come down with me.
Because he's going to be physically active.
He's going to be physically active. But I see some of his friends come over, and they need to be entertained.
Yeah.
You can tell by watching the interaction that they are not comfortable creating games themselves, or not comfortable being imaginative. They literally will come up to us sometimes and say, I'm bored. Like,
wow.
We've got
to somebody else's parents and say,
to
I'm
us
bored.
And say I'm bored. And it blows me away, because we've always scheduled time to have our kids play.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's important for them to play outside, to go, you take them to places where they can interact with other kids. And I think it's really important. And when I see these kids that just need to be fed entertainment, it just blows me away.
I know. It makes me sad. And I also think it kills the spirit. Everybody knows, because I talk about it all the time, I'm kind of a God girl. And so I think their spirituality gets killed too when they're just kind of fed this video stuff all the time. And yeah, exactly. So you and your wife have a remedy to this. the two of you, and this is the reason I originally asked you to be on the show, because I really want to support moms who are in business and trying to do a good thing for the world and trying to do good things for families. And you guys are. So you established your business to help remedy this problem, to help kids be creative, to give them a place to play physically. Tell us about it.
Well, we founded Monkey Business 9 years ago. And one of the many reasons, there was a multitude of reasons why we did that. One of them was lifestyle. We were both working, 50 hours a week, corporate jobs. Yeah, we'd show up at home and all we do is complain about our day.
Oh.
And we felt like that would have a detrimental effect on our kids. So I called one of my best friends and said, got a couple of ideas. Let's kick this around. And, to make a long story short, because I could drag this one out forever, we sort of got our heads together and came up with Monkey Business. And I think the goal was, and you can see it in our marketing too, it's a wholesome place for kids to play. I mean, it's a place where kids can interact with other kids. Everything we do is all about activity. I mean, we don't have video games, and it's really all about unstructured playtime. Play, go crazy. Our slogan is where kids monkey around.
Yeah, and tell people what the facilities, you got about 3 minutes left. Okay. Tell people what the facilities look like. Give us some of your locations, what the philosophy is about, what you have birthday parties there, you have all kinds of things there. It's just a place for kids to come play after school if they need to.
Absolutely.
So tell people what the physically it looks like, and then where some places they are, how they can look you up online.
Okay. Well, we've got two business models, actually. Our original Monkey Business was the one that we opened first, and it's a 13,000 square foot facility. We've got indoor rock climbing walls. We've got giant slides, giant play structures with rope swings, obstacle courses, again, all active play. And we're open, for open play during the week. You mentioned coming in after school. It's a great place we always tell moms and dads, award your kid for doing well in school and, bringing a Monkey Business after school.
Yeah.
And we also do birthday parties, which is, again, more of an active, great, fun way for kids to interact for their birthdays. And, we do everything. We do the cleaning, we do the supervising and all of that. And then a couple years after we developed Monkey Business, my wife, so you wanted me to bring my wife into this.
Yeah.
She's actually
the mom.
Pillar behind this one
Yeah.
with all the ideas. But she came up with an idea for a place where parents could sit and drink coffee and their kids could play.
Yeah.
And that was when we developed Little Monkey Business. And we've now got several of those. We've got 11 stores in 5 states, but we've got 5 stores just here in the Denver area.
And if people want to look you up online to find out where they are, where do they go?
It's monkeybusiness.com, and business is BIZNESS.
And then they can find out how to do that. In the last minute, you have got about a minute. Moms are going to be overwhelmed this morning to hear, oh my gosh, I need to be scheduling structured play for my kids, and I need to be out exercising with them more. What would your tip for busy moms be to not overwhelm them or condemn them like, oh, you've been messing up? What would you say to them very briefly about how to get this into their life so their kids are more active and more creative?
Well, I think the key, and we just had a baby, and my wife is probably one of the most giving to our children to the detriment of herself. And I always tell her, you have to schedule time for yourself. You've got to make yourself a priority. And she won't do it, but I tell her that daily. Yeah. Make yourself a priority. You've got to take some time, whether it's go exercise, take a walk. And I think that's important.
Yeah, it is.
Because, I was listening to you earlier, and moms definitely give them themselves until it hurts. And I think at some point on a daily basis, they've got to take a little bit of that back.
Absolutely. And then I think maybe they're clearer with what the priorities are, so they can come and say to the kids, hey, mom just went for a walk and exercise. Why don't you guys go outside and play for a half an hour too?
Right. Absolutely.
And then, of course, Monkey Business. I love that you've come up with this. I really do, because it's just good, healthy fun. So it's monkeybusiness.com,
yes.
And folks can go look you up, and it's a quick, easy way for them to have birthday parties or just to get their kids to be active after school.
Absolutely.
And creative.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Jason and your wife, Jennifer, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate what you're doing. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Here, give me a little handshake. Thank you, Nate, for coming.